Hey everybody, it's Dr. William Clark. So glad to be with you for another class. In this class, we're going to be talking about how to build your nonprofit team and select the right team members for your organization. This is an important class because many of you are in this process of growing and transitioning from the phase of just having an idea to finally registering your company with the IRS and your state. And then now, many of you have gotten your 501c3 status and you're looking to build a team. For others who are taking this class, you have surpassed that stage and you're looking to grow and build successful teams so that you can establish a solid infrastructure that's attractive to program funders, donors, supporters, stakeholders, and your customer base. And so this is an important class for all nonprofit leaders. I'm excited to take you through this class, but before we jump to the class, just want to do some housekeeping things and get that out the way. Now, I want you to know that my goal at the end of the day, when it comes to the classes I teach, and this class is no different, my goal at the end of the day is to help you raise money now for your worthy cause. And of course, what we're going to talk about will help you get to that stage of your nonprofit life cycle. Building teams does help you raise serious money, and it is helpful along the journey of letting people know that you are a serious player and in contention for serious funding. Now, just a little bit more about me. I am known for raising six figures per program. That means that if you have multiple programs within your organization and they each raise six figures minimum to operate, then you have developed a multi-million-dollar nonprofit organization. And this is what I specialize in. This is what I do. And as you see on the screen with this picture, this is a check. This is one of the examples of what I've been able to do over the years, over the course of my career, to help nonprofits, ones that I lead and consult, to build six-figure organizations and six-figure programs so that their worthy cause is supported. Now, because you joined me today, I do want to thank you for joining me today. You're going to get a free copy of my assessment tool, my partnership assessment tool. This tool helps me determine who to work with and who to partner with, particularly as we're pursuing new funding opportunities. As we are exploring different ways to build our nonprofit organization, I'm certainly excited to share this resource with you, and I hope that you find it super useful on your journey as you're looking to build your organization and to raise serious money for your nonprofit today. Now, in terms of what I'm going to share with you today, this particular concept has allowed me to do a bunch of things, but I think this is just worth saying to you. Building teams has enabled me and empowered me and my team to raise $2 million just 30 days into our fiscal year. This is an important stat to share with you because raising money is what's important to making sure your nonprofit is not only able to survive but thrive. Whether you're dealing with the pandemic, whether you're dealing with the economic downturn, you need to build successful teams. And for us, because teams have been essential and the culture that we've built has been essential to what we do, we've been able to raise $2 million in 30 days into our fiscal year. And so I just want to let you know that I'm teaching you what I apply to my teams and to my organizations. Just a quick earnings disclaimers. While I'm going to share some facts and figures with you that are relative to me, you may end up getting different results. And in fact, many of you may be getting better results than what I'm sharing on the screen or sharing during this presentation. So just be mindful of that. And if you do get better results, would you just mind sending me a message? Let me know that, listen, hey, we've put to use this stuff. We've been able to accomplish this. And we want to thank you just for sharing this stuff. So help me learn how to do what I do better and let me know that what I'm doing is helpful and is making a difference. Now, before we move forward, I want to make sure that we are on the same page and that we are in agreement that whatever you learn today, that you promise to do good by it, that you promise to use it for good, that you promise to make a significant difference in the life of your customer and in the life cycle of your organization. If you promise to do that, just simply type yes in the comments. It's really important to me that I see a bunch of yeses in the comments, that I see you guys responding and let me know that yes, we're going to use this information, we're going to change things, we're going to improve the way we do things, and we're going to make a difference for the organization that we are leading. And I appreciate a number of you are saying yes. And as those of you still coming into the room, please just make a commitment that you're going to make and use this information for good. Just simply type yes, I will do just that. And thank you for all of you for doing that for me. Now, a little bit about me. I have raised over $900 million via contracts and grants over my career. I've cultivated over $4.5 billion in economic development projects, and I have an earned doctorate degree, and I love to ride my road bike. I've been on it all summer, just having a good time time. And so I love to share what I'm doing and what I'm working on with you guys. And of course, this is just to let you know that I am focused on fundraising. I'm focused on revenue development for nonprofit organizations. And so that's just a little bit about me. There are two books I want to share with you that I've written. I've written several books, but there's two I want to focus on. The first book is Grant Writing 101. This particular book is the behind the scenes book that you need to get that will teach you how grant decisions are made and how you can make a difference in the grant writing process for your organization. If you want to know about the grant writing process, how to simplify it, how to strategize around it, how to make sure you're writing a winning grant every single time, go ahead and get your book. The next book that I want to share with you is my book, Sustainable. It is my doctoral thesis. In this book, I talk about how to sustain your nonprofit organization beyond grants, how to develop all types of revenue sources that are going to make a difference in your ability to provide services to your customer and to pay your overhead costs, pay for programs, pay for staff, etc. So you can get both of these books by simply visiting gumroad.com/Dr. William P. Clark. Again, gumroad.com/Dr. William P. Clark. On social media, you can find me on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for Dr. William P. Clark. You'll see my avatar. Just do me a favor. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share my channels with your network, because all I talk about is nonprofit stuff, nonprofit strategy, nonprofit leadership, and yes, nonprofit fundraising. In addition, if you're in the podcast, I recommend you join my podcast and subscribe to my podcast, the Dr. William Clark Podcast. During this podcast, we talk about all things nonprofit, leadership strategy, and fundraising. If you are into podcasts, you're going to enjoy this podcast, so go ahead, like, and subscribe that podcast on all platforms. Next, I want to invite you to join my private Facebook group, Nonprofit Funding Strategies. It's absolutely free to join. Just simply search for it in Facebook. Just simply respond to the application, and we will admit you into this group. It's a great group. We share all strategies relative to fundraising, and I'm excited to share with you everything that I'm working on, ideas and strategies that I know can make a difference and benefit your organization when it comes to fundraising. So again, Nonprofit Funding Strategies on Facebook is a group I want to invite you to join. I do have a special offer for you. We'll talk about this much later in the presentation, but I want to make sure you are aware of my masterclass and my mastermind program, what you should know before applying for grants. This class is the truth. If you want to get coaching and support at an affordable price, this class is for you. We'll talk about this later in the presentation, but without further ado, I want to jump into the presentation that we have for today. There are 3 secrets to raising serious money for your nonprofit, and here's the first secret. The first secret is a clear strategy is necessary and it matters, but it is the third fastest way to raise money for your nonprofit. Secret number 2, performance matters, and this is the one that gets everybody. Performance matters and is the second fastest way to raise money for your nonprofit organization. And you guessed it, the fastest way to raise money for your nonprofit organization is through and with relationships. So today we're going to talk about secret number 3, and that is relationships is the bridge that closes all gaps and is the fastest way to raise serious money for your organization. More specifically, we're going to dive into the strategy of how to build your nonprofit team and how to select the right team members for what you are working on. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and jump into this presentation. I want to make sure that what we are discussing today is going to hit home for you, and I want to make sure that we start off this course focusing on what we're going to learn in this course. This course was originally designed for leaders who are emerging into their leadership role, and I tend to create content for that type of audience, but I will tell you that for those of you who've been doing this for quite a long time, some of us who've been leaders for years and been leading teams for years, we can always use a refresher on things that have changed in the selection process of teams and or updating how we do the process altogether. And for some of you who are taking this course, this is more affirmation of what you've been doing. So I hope that you are affirmed that you've been doing the right things to select the right team members to your team and to advance the work that you are part of. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to focus on one key learning element in this course, and that is how to build teams that will change the trajectory of your organization. You're hiring someone or you're selecting someone to be a part of your team for a specific purpose and for a specific reason. And that is to change something about your organization. The change can be subtle or the change can be significant. Whatever it is, you're looking to change the trajectory of your team, regardless of the type of change you're looking to introduce with the person you're looking to hire. This is what we're going to focus on today when we talk about building teams that will advance your work. Now, you're watching the slides on the screen. I invite you to engage in this content and to be a part of this conversation. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody. So let's start here. This course is important because leaders need to be reminded they are not alone. You are not alone. That transition you're making from being a team member, an individual contributor, to now being responsible for the work of multiple individuals is a difficult and a critical transition. It's difficult because you're now leaving behind your individual work, being responsible for only you, worrying about only what you're able to get done, to now overseeing the performance and the work products of other people. That's difficult for a lot of reasons. For one reason, it's difficult is because we tend to be selfish as individuals. We want to make sure that we look good 100% of the time. And now that we are overseeing a group of people or overseeing a team, we are now judged by how good our team members perform, how well they do their jobs. And oftentimes, as you know, as an emerging leader or as an established leader, you cannot make anybody do anything. You cannot look over people's shoulder to get them to do what they have committed to do. And oftentimes, people will let you down as you are leading them through a journey to get a particular task done. So it's challenging to now be responsible for leading a team. It's also a critical transition when you leave behind your staff work to now lead a team because that transition will say a lot about the trajectory of your leadership. You do have to think different when you're managing teams. You do have to reevaluate some of your day to day tasks. You have to reevaluate the way you manage time because now you're managing a team. And at the end of the day, when you take on a leadership role, what you're saying is, I am now responsible for influencing a team. When you're looking for the definition of leadership, that's what it is. It's influence. Leadership is influencing a group of people to achieve a common goal. When you accept a leadership role, when you accept a role of overseeing a team, you're saying, I am now responsible for influencing their performance and influencing the outcomes that they produce that will now be coupled together with the outcomes of a group of people that will make up my team. So when you look at all of that, it reminds you that you are not alone. Yes, you are given projects. Yes, you are given assignments. Yes, you are taking over departments. Yes, you are taking over organizations, but you are not taking them over. You're not taking on these new assignments as a lone wolf. You're taking them over with a team behind you or beside you to help you get to where you're trying to go. You are not alone, my friend. Now, you may be saying to me, well, I feel alone because the people on my team may not be pulling their weight. They may not be accomplishing the work that I've assigned for them to do. At the end of the day, I understand that feeling, but you're still not alone because there are people who are there who have been assigned to do something that will advance the work that you are overseeing. You have to now figure out how to get more out of the people that are on your team or to build a brand new team. This course focuses on the building of a brand new team. Now, we do create teams for a specific purpose, and that purpose is to achieve goals and to achieve objectives. As leaders, that's what we're focused on. We have goals, we have objectives, and we're trying to accomplish them regardless of what it takes to get there. Now, when we think about what it takes to get to where we're trying to go, we think about the amount of sacrifice we have to make. We think about the long hours we got to put in. And I will affirm you that yes, that is necessary and that is a part of the journey. But consider the fact that what you also have to put into this journey is the selection of a team that will help you get to where you're trying to go. Your team, along with you, will shoulder the burden of advancing the work as far as it can go.
When you start to think that it's just you, or when you think it's only you, then you will not get very far, or you will find yourself burnt out, and you will create a struggle within your organization. You will create a struggle within your project work, and nothing will get done. At the end of the day, your team is supposed to be designed to help you meet the objectives that you have been given, or the objectives that you have designed. That's the purpose of a team. That's the purpose of creating teams. It's all about the objective, and it's all about the goals that you're working towards. Now, before we get deeper into the content, I do want to remind you that teams allow the leaders to do a number of critical things. Number one, teams allow leaders to focus on their competency. As a leader, yes, you're responsible for the outcomes of individuals. You're responsible for their work products, etc. But you, my friend, you have a competency as well. You have a skill. That's what a competency is. You have a skill that you are contributing to the team, and it's not just your leadership, which is a skill in and of itself. Don't get me wrong. But when you think about the functional areas that you are responsible for, you are responsible for producing something as well. Before you got promoted to your first leadership role, what were you responsible for? I know for me, I started out in the IT marketplace, and I was a project manager. And as I took on more roles, I brought that project management skill with me. Now, I oversaw teams that wrote code. I oversaw teams that developed business plans. I oversaw teams that developed a data architecture and system architecture, and I had those skills as well. So I used those competencies that I had prior to becoming a project manager to help my leadership when I helped and led teams along that journey. Along that journey of being a project manager, I picked up other skills such as negotiating skills, contracting skills, project oversight skills, portfolio development skills, and those skills strengthened my portfolio of skills that I now use on a regular basis in the position that I'm in now. When you think about everything you've developed along the journey, before you became the leader, before you became the supervisor, the manager, you had a competency, you had a skill. What was it? Or what is it? And as I've grown in my career, I've become more hyper focused on certain skills that matter more to the job that I'm in charge of, or the job that I'm trying to accomplish, or the job that I'm trying to advance with the team. Not every skill that I've developed over the years matters to my team. Some of my IT skills don't matter anymore for my team, because we have other folks who have more advanced skills than I do in certain areas. And so they take the lead and run with it. But there are certain skills that I utilize on a regular basis that's needed by my team. And again, this goes back to the point we're trying to make. We need teams to help us focus on our competency so that we can contribute something to the work as well. And the team allows you as a leader to cast vision for the team to aspire to. You're constantly setting the goal, right? Remember, we talked about goals. Remember, we talked about objectives. That's casting vision. And you are setting that tone for the team on a regular basis. What is it that the team is trying to aspire to? What is it that the team's trying to accomplish? What is it the team's trying to see happen? You are the one constantly casting that vision, setting the tone for the team as they are in pursuit of what you are setting forward in front of them. Without the team, you will find yourself in the minutia doing the grunt work, and the team is doing it with you, but they don't know to what end. The team needs to know to what end their work will take them. They need to know why they're doing what they're doing. They need to be reminded. And for those of you who didn't know and you're watching this course, leaders are responsible for this and much, much more. You'll be surprised how much work or how much time it takes to just cast vision and to remind the team of the vision. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to strategize to get the team to come together, to group their work products together to get to a specific end result. It's a whole lot of work to strategize that stuff. And if you didn't know that's what leaders do, that's what they do. And it's important. But you can't do that if you don't have the right team around you that is handling the day to day, that is taking on the projects that you cannot do yourself. You can't do your job to focus on your competencies and to cast vision. Now, let's get into the meat of this course. How to build teams. Now, I provide a number of strategies and tips for you, and we're going to start here with number one. The first thing is selecting team members should include the selection of talented individuals. Now, when you're selecting talented individuals, you're trying to identify people that have specific skill sets that will help you accomplish your goals and objectives. Remember, at the end of the day, as a leader, you're trying to accomplish something very specific, right? And you may have a number of specific things you're trying to accomplish, but regardless of the number, you're trying to accomplish those things and you need talent to get there. You cannot hire people just because you like them or just because they have a certain type of look or style. That's not going to get the job done. What's going to get the job done are people who have skills in specific functional areas that's going to make a difference in your work. If you don't have the right skill sets on your team, you will find your projects delayed. You will feel pressure to get things done. You will start to create reasons why you should do it yourself. And a bunch of other stuff starts to pop up, which ultimately harms the project, harms your leadership, and harms the work that you're working on. Building teams has to include talent. It has to include skill. Remember, I said in one of the previous slides that when you have a team, it allows you to focus on your competency. Your competency is the skill that you have worked on and developed to a point that someone recognized that that skill can be put to use to manage others with similar skill sets. So you already understand the importance of skills. You already understand the importance of competencies and what people bring to the table. When you're building a team, you have to be reflective of what people are bringing to the table because it does matter. You need skills. But here's the second thing that you should be thinking about when it comes to selecting talented individuals. The right talent can advance your work very, very quickly. If you hire the right talent, if you have people with the right skill set and they know what they're doing, not only are you getting someone who is competent in the work that you are trying to accomplish, but they can be so good and so skilled at the work that they're doing that they can advance you much further, much faster than you ever anticipated. When you have someone on your team that can do that and they can advance you really, really quickly, this gets you ahead of schedule. This puts you in the good graces of your customer. This keeps you not only on task and on budget, but perhaps you may be under budget. And for those who are sponsoring your project, for your customers who are trying to get the best bang for their buck, when you tell them that you're coming in under budget because you have the right skills on the team and someone is so good that they know what they're doing and they can get it done faster and cheaper, your customer will thank you for it. Now, here's the second thing about having someone who can advance your skill or advance your project really quickly. Not only can a skillful individual advance your work quickly without delaying success, this person can also help you realize quick wins. Now, this is a leadership tip and trick. The goal of a leader is to accomplish goals to make sure that they hit the objectives that have been assigned to them. One of the things leaders always look for are quick wins. Quick wins are things you're able to get done quickly to show signs to your customer or to the person who promoted you that, yes, this was the right decision to promote me. You did select the right person in this position. And in order to prove that to you in the first 6 months or so, let me accomplish something quick that is a quick win. And it doesn't mean you're rushing to do something just to say you got it done. No, quick wins typically is a reflection of low-hanging fruit, things that are easy to accomplish, that can be done quickly, and that can be done well. Okay, it is not about speed, it's about doing it quickly and doing it well. When you have someone skilled on your team that can do something quick and well, you will notice that some of the low-hanging fruit that's been hanging out there when you took on this job will now be accomplished really quickly, and it will get the attention of those who are depending upon you. Those quick wins will garner respect and will garner trust. From a leadership standpoint, that is vital because you're going to need it further down the road when the going gets tough on your project. You're going to need that equity in the bank. And having skilled talent will allow you to rely and build upon that equity and credit in the bank when you really need it the most. All right, glad you're hanging there with me. We're on to our next section here in terms of building teams. Selecting team members not only should be based upon talent, which is what we learned in the previous section, selecting team members should be based upon fit. Now, this is where this becomes critical as you're making the best decision. Fit is all about who is going to work well with your team and within the culture that you are building as a leader. Now, you're looking for a number of things when you start to talk about fit. You're looking for someone that can fit within the culture, right? The way that you do things, your value system, the behaviors that you expect, the ethical standards, the performance standards, all of that defines culture. And let me just say before we move on, culture says a lot about your leadership. You want the culture to speak for you, and trust me, it will, whether you want it to or not. But what you do want to focus on is that if the culture is going to speak for you, you want the culture to say the truth about you. You want the culture to talk about what you stand for. And if you stand for doing good work, if you stand for product efficiency or program efficiency or project efficiency, if you stand for effectiveness, if you stand for timeliness, if you stand for remaining on budget or coming under budget, that's going to be the cultural message that will come out of your team. Now, you're asking how? How does that come out? One, people determine culture based upon the work products that you produce. If you produce work products that are always late, that's sloppy, that's undone, and you publish them to the public or to the customer without checking those things, you will be known for that, and that will define your culture. Because if people dig deeper enough, they will see that the reason why your work is sloppy, the reason why it's late, the reason why it's over budget all the time is because when I look at a specific contributor or I look at a particular process within your project flow or your program flow, there's always overruns, there's always inefficiencies, there's no quality control in your work during this particular process, and therefore ultimately it gets passed down the chain, and then you have the production of a work product that is sloppy, that is late, that is not efficient, that is over budget. So your culture will speak for you based upon performance. You cannot forget that. Number two, you want to look for fit for the future. You're not just hiring for now, you're hiring for what is to come. You will always have future projects. You will always have future opportunities. You will always have future tasks that will be assigned to you, right? And when you think about the future and what's coming down the pike, particularly if you're one of the leaders that have insight into what's coming, or you're responsible for shaping the future, such as a senior staff member or a CEO, then you're not only hiring for the moment, you're not hiring only for the current project, you're hiring for what is to come. So this person not only has to fit the culture for what you're doing now, they have to fit for what's happening in the future. Now you also got to think about this too, that you and your team are constantly maturing and growing together. You're aging together, you're maturing together. The persons that you're adding to the team will have to grow with you as well. They have to age well with you. I'm sure you've heard the term that good leather ages well, even with the scratches, but and it gets kind of wrinkled and kind of roughed up a little bit. But regardless of what happens with the leather, even with all the imperfections make the leather look just so good. The worn out look of good leather, it still stands the test of time. Some say good wine ages well over time. If you understand those concepts, then you'll understand why aging well with your team matters and why selecting the right team member for the future matters. As you get into year 1, 2, 5, 10, if you're lucky to have members stay on that long, you want to develop a team that is able to stay together and grow together for future opportunities. Folks who are looking to grow, folks who are looking to get smarter, folks who are getting better at their craft, folks who are now becoming leaders of departments and segments of the work. It's about the future, folks. You can't worry about just the right now, but the future matters as well. Third, you want to select people that fit well with you. You matter. You're the leader. You're the one that's responsible for the work products. If you have a team that does not fit well with you, then what is all this for? You need people that understand you, people that get you, people that compliment you, people that supplement you, people that support you, people that challenge you, people that push you, people that pull you. You need people that make you better. And that's what a fit is all about. You're not trying to hire servants. You're not trying to hire yes men or yes women. You're not trying to hire people who's just going to submit to your every will and whim. You're trying to hire people that fit you, that make you a better you. You become a greater version of yourself. You become a greater leader because of the team that you have. And if the team you have doesn't push you to become better, then they don't fit you. If you think that leading a team is all about having people that will serve you on hand and foot, or people that will do whatever you say, you are sadly mistaken. You will not have a team that will age well with you. You will not have a team that will be around for the long haul. You need a team that will push you to become a better version of you. Everybody on your team should have permission to do just that. You have a stake in this fight just as much as everybody else does. Your career is on the line. And because your career is on the line, you need the right team that will help you get over the several humps that you're looking to get over. And here's the fourth thing that I got to share with you when I'm talking about hiring team members for fit. You need to hire people that will be the right fit for the hard times that will come in the future. As an emerging leader, you're thinking about what you can and will do and what will go well for you if you take on a new leadership role. But I am here to share with you that at some point during your career, during the life cycle of a project or a program, something will go wrong. Challenges will occur. And when those challenges occur, that's when you find out who's really with you and who isn't with you. As much as you possibly can, select team members who are going to be able to survive the future. The future will come. Yes, you want to age well with folks, but you want to also prepare for the difficult times that will come. There will be instances where you will lose contracts. There will be instances where you will have a PR hit. There will be instances where you will lose progress on a project. There will be instances where unexpected errors pop up in the work or unexpected issues pop up. And it's nothing you could have done to plan or prepare for it. When that stuff happens, all of a sudden, you need to make sure you have the right people that fit those scenarios. Now, since you're not able to see the future, since you're unable to predict the future, there's no way to predict if someone's able to be a right fit for the right situation. However, if you hire people, if you select people who fit the general culture that you are creating, who have good ethics, good morals, good standards, who love what they do, who are good at what they do, you can possibly rest assured that you have the right people in place for what ifs. It won't be pretty. There's no guarantees that you'll get through it unscathed, but you can get through it as best as you can when you have the right team members. All right, everybody. Glad you're still hanging in there with me. We're powering through this course, and I'm glad you're still there. You're doing well, and I know that you're going to be awesome at selecting team members by the time we get done with this course. So we're well on our way. Now, here's the third thing I need to share with you about selecting teams, and that is selecting teams is a process. There's no way around this process. We all have to go through this process, and quite frankly, it can be very daunting at times to think about the fact that you have to go through this process. Now, we talked about selecting team members should be based upon fit and talent, and it's a process to make sure you filter through resumes or individuals that will present themselves and say, hey, I want to be a part of your team. You know, people will throw themselves at you because they hear about what you're doing, and they hear about the work that you're working on, and they feel like they want to join your team, especially when they start to hear good things. Everybody that throws themselves at you will not be a fit. And you have to be selective in that, knowing that you cannot select and bring everybody onto your team, which brings us to point 3, and that is it is a process to select team members and build teams. Now, There are three things I want to share with you in this section. Here's the first thing. It is a process. Now, in order for the process to work, you have to ask the same key questions of every prospect for consistency. Okay. Every time you have an interview, every time you meet with people, every time you sit down with people, you should be asking the same questions for consistency. Now, you cannot compare apples and oranges when you're looking at two individuals if you don't ask the same set of questions. You want to be as consistent as possible so that you can figure out the answers that you're getting, whether they mesh with you or not. If you switch up questions per the interview or based upon the person that's sitting in front of you, then you're not going to get clarity in terms of who's sitting in front of you and whether you should be selecting this person or the next person to move on to the next round. So ask the same questions for consistency. Now, you may want to consider writing these questions down. You may want to have a database of questions and log the answers that are given and then compare them at the end of the process. That's something that I've done in the past, and it helps give a comparison to other people based upon the quality of the answers. Or you may want to consider rating the answers that you get, because some answers that you get may not be good answers and it may rate low, while others may give a good answer and it may rate high. And that can also give you some insight, some data to determine who am I talking to, who is sitting in front of me. So you want some consistency in that process as much as you can. Here's a second thing you want to do as a part of this process, and that is look for the real person. Now, people will always sell you who they are, and they will try to give you their best self during that interview process. And trust me, they will put on a good show if they really care about the job that they're interviewing for. But if you're like me, you don't care about the show that people are putting on for you. You care about the real person that is sitting in front of you, who that person is when the lights are off, when the cameras are off, and when times get hard. You want to know who that real person is. You have to ask questions that will help you understand that real person. You want to get to know them outside of work. Who are you at home? Who are you around your friends? Who do people say that you are? So you want to ask those type of probing questions. Now, this leads me to my third point, because you may be thinking right now, well, how do I get to know the real person? How does somebody get to know the real me? Well, number one, you can always call references and get the real answer about who this person is. But then you got to also wonder, based upon the references that someone gives you, are the references people that will tell you the truth about the person that you're thinking about adding to your team. So another tactic you might want to look at to help you get to know the real person is to meet people in a casual setting. A casual environment allows people to disarm and to dress down and to relax a little bit and to be themselves in the moment. So I typically love to meet people in a coffee shop to go get a cup of coffee and to talk. The reason is we're not in a stuffy office. We're not surrounded by white walls or paraphernalia of the company. It doesn't feel stuffy. It's loud at times. You hear the coffee machines in the background. It's distracting. You have people coming in and out. And depending on where the coffee shop is, you may be distracted by people that are coming in and out that you know or that the other person knows. And watching those interactions matter. This casual environment allows you to see that person in a real relaxed way without them putting on a show. And that's what you're looking for. Who are you when you're not in the office? Who are you when there are a lot of distractions going on? Who are you if you see someone that you know or that knows you? How do you respond? How do you talk different? How's your posture in a coffee shop? Do they have their legs crossed? Do they have their arms crossed? Do they slouch? Do they sit up? Do they do all those things that give you any indication of who they are? Now, this is not intended to discriminate against people, because what you want to really know is who they are. And based upon who they are, you have to ask yourself the following question: can I deal with that person in their current state or as who they are showing themselves to be to me right now? The other thing that happens when you are in a relaxed environment like a coffee shop is, like I said, people kind of disarm. And during the disarming process, people tend to talk more casually as well. Their answers are not as prepared. because people will prepare for the interview. They will research your organization, they will research you, they will go all over your social media and your LinkedIn page and will understand you as much as they possibly can. And they will be prepared for whatever you throw at them in a formal interview setting. But when you go to the coffee shop, there's no way to prepare for that. Like who knows how to prepare for a coffee conversation? Because you don't know what's coming up. Now, for me, when I go to a coffee interview, I don't bring paper with me. I don't bring their resumes with me. I don't even look it up on my phone. This is a conversation between two adults who's trying to get to know each other. That's all I'm trying to do. And so when we're trying to get to know each other, yes, I'm looking at body language. Yes, I'm looking at how you're distracted or how you're handling all the other distractions around the coffee shop, but I'm also listening to what you're saying. You know, in an interview, typically in an interview, people ask questions, you respond, and then there's a pause because they're taking notes. It's that awkward silence you hear during the interview process that people are taking notes based upon what you're saying, versus in a casual environment when you're having a conversation with someone. Let's say you're having a conversation with a friend and you're talking about a topic you guys always talk about. There's a back and forth with very little delay. Even if you're at a coffee shop, even if you're at their home, even if you are at a restaurant, regardless of the distractions, there's very little delay when you're having a conversation with a friend. If you take that approach to an interview in a casual conversation where it's not standard questions, you're not taking notes, you're not allowing awkward silences, but you're having a conversation, this is when the conversation continues to become more relaxed, because there's no way to prepare for the follow-up question that's coming. There's no way to prepare for the follow-up question that's coming. There's no way to prepare for the immediate reaction I may have to something you say, because I'm not taking notes. I'm responding to what you're saying in the moment. I'm responding to how you're behaving in the moment. And you get to know each other. Encourage people in these relaxed environments to ask you questions as well, to probe you. Get them to see who you are in a relaxed environment, how you dress, how you sit, how you handle distractions, how you drink your coffee. Those little things tell a story. Are you intense even in a coffee shop? If you're intense in a casual environment, man, you're intense in a more structured environment. And perhaps you're looking for that. Or perhaps you're really, really casual in a coffee shop. That means you're going to be casual when I'm not around. And maybe that's what you're looking for too. It just depends on what you're looking for. Remember, the previous section was about fit. You know what you're looking for your culture. You know if your culture needs to get more tight and stiff or if it needs to loosen up. And that casual conversation will tell you what you're getting when you're having a conversation with someone. This is why I encourage you, when you're looking to take on a new leadership role, be yourself. It's not about trying to be the person you want the other person wants you to be, because at that point you're pretending. It's not about trying to contort yourself to be the right fit. You want to be yourself so that when someone selects you, they're selecting you for the real person that you portrayed yourself to be when you had your interview or conversation with them. If you contort to be someone that you're not, and all of a sudden people are expecting that fake person you pretended to be, it becomes highly stressful and very difficult to maintain the charade. And people, they're not going to care. All they want is the person that you said you were selling yourself to be. And if you want to be real and honest and you want somebody to select you for the real person that you are, flaws and all, which they should know about, then you should want that for the people you're selecting on your team. You want to hire flawed people. The only difference is you just want to know what the flaws are. So I know how to handle them. So I know what to expect when they pop up. So I know how to deploy those flaws to the advantage of the team. Some flaws are good flaws. You just never know. But you got to know what you're looking for. And you got to get the real person to show up during an interview. And who they present to you is who they are. And that's the person that you got to determine if you want to be on your team or not. All right, everybody. So glad you're hanging in there with me. We are almost there. I got one more point to share with you, and then I got some closing tips and information to share with you. So hanging in there. Now, here's the fourth thing I want to share with you, the fourth and final thing I want to share with you, and that is when you're selecting team members, It should be based upon alignment. Now, I'm about to share something with you. I hope that you find this useful because this is going to really advance your leadership if you're able to select team members that align with you, that align with your vision, and you align with the person you're selecting. All right, so let's dig in a little bit more. When you're selecting team members, you want to know what they want. Not necessarily just what they want for this job, salary, benefits, etc., but what do they want for themselves in the future? Where do they see themselves? That matters. Now, we typically hear those questions in an interview when people ask, "Well, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?" And it can be kind of cliche-ish, but when people answer that question and they give you a real answer, like a real answer that, like, "Well, I want to run my own agency." Well, I want to be the vice president, and Lord, they're not even interviewing for anything close to that right now. But when they give you an answer like that, or they will say, "I want to start a business doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm coming here to learn," don't get mad. Don't be upset. Don't take it personal. When people are real with you like that, remember the section we just covered. You want the real person. When people are real with you like that, take it for what it is because that's an opportunity to find alignment. And clearly, if they're honest enough to share that with you, they feel like this job that they're interviewing for, this position on your team that they're interviewing for, will help them get to where they are going. And friend, if they're able to share that information with you, you are stumbling upon something that can really advance your work. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But you should know what they want to accomplish. Now, once you identify what they want to accomplish, have a conversation about that. Don't make them feel guilty. Have a conversation about it to better understand what they want to see happen and how they envision it coming to pass. Now, when they share that, go back and forth, be inquisitive, be curious, ask questions, and be really interested in what they're sharing. When they share deeper information about what they want to accomplish, now start to have a conversation about how you can create the environment that welcomes them to try that thing on your team. If a person wants to start a new program in the future, start a new organization in the future, or wants to get to a certain senior staff level in the future, create the environment that allows them to start to test that out, to start to play around with that, to start to practice those things. So let's say you are interviewing someone and they want to start their own program, project, business in the future, and there's some correlation to the work that you're doing now. You may be in a position to create the environment that allows them to start to do that. Now, this is what it looks like, and this is just a scenario that could happen within your organization. Number one, you need to hire them based upon fit, right? Do they have the skill set? Do they fit the culture of the organization? And do they fit you? And also, you went through the process of asking the questions that allows them to be their full self, right? So you're hiring them to fulfill an immediate need that you have. You can't lose sight of that. But if they want to start a business, could they start that business or at least the infrastructure with your team present and the resources that you have available? Could you create an environment where they are free to test and to innovate and to strategize without it being held against them? As a leader, your job is to create that type of safety net, that safe environment for someone to do that type of innovation and testing. The reason for that is it could advance your work as a leader. If this business that they want to create has some semblance of alignment with what you're trying to accomplish in the short or long-term future, by releasing that person to test those ideas within the confines of your team or your organization, you are now leveraging the skill set and the interest of that individual to prepare for the future. This is golden, my friend. Leaders are constantly thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about 6, 12, 18, 24 months from now, sometimes 5, 10 years down the road. And just because a leader is envisioning the future does not mean the leader knows how it's going to happen. But a leader is able to advance their thinking, advance their strategy towards the future when they are able to invite and encourage innovation within their teams. One safe way to do this, so this is just one of several ways you can do this. One safe way to do this is to allow team members who have aspirations for themselves in the future to start working on those things now. You can be the one coaching them. You can be the one pushing them, encouraging them, supporting them as they go through this journey. This will not only help them and encourage them and support them and make them feel safe and welcome, this will also help you as you're setting the tone and the foundation for the future for your team. All while getting what you need done in real time, all while getting the talent you need for the moment, all while getting the talent you need for the moment, all while working on the future, all at the same time. Alignment matters. It's not just about people aligning with you and what you're trying to accomplish. It's about you aligning with other people and encouraging them to come on board, to be a part of what you're working on, to be a part of the vision you're creating. This leads me to my next point. When you create that environment where innovation is welcomed, when you create that environment where strategy development is welcomed, and people feel safe creating and innovating within the confines of the team or the organization that you are leading, share and connect them with resources that you have. Yes, connect them with resources to test and innovate. That may mean money, supplies. Connect them with connections, relationships that could advance their work. Send them to trainings. Give them books or information they need to do research. The reason you want to do the connecting is you want to advance their thinking. You want to feed their innovation as much as possible. You want them to be so insatiable towards innovation that they will come to you asking for more and more and more resources. And you, my friend, you want to be the leader that says, yeah, I'm going to help you. I'm going to feed that hunger, no matter how hungry you are. Again, the reason you're doing this is for a strategic purpose. One, you're getting the best work out of somebody. And let me just address that really quickly. In terms of best work, someone who is excited and hungry about work and they're working on things that they want to work on and they're good at what they do, what they're hired to do, and they're good at what they're working on. Let me just give you a little tidbit in secret. And don't you tell nobody this. This is between you and I. When you have somebody working on something that they enjoy and they have a task that needs to get done now that's been assigned to them, here's the secret. They will get it done effectively and quickly, and it will be done well. Don't you tell nobody I told you that. Okay, did you hear that? It will be done effectively, it will be done quickly, and it will be done well. Now, the reason why, I'm telling you, don't you tell nobody the secret. The reason why you know it will be done well and effectively and it would be done quickly is because that person wants to hurry up and get done the task that was just assigned to them so that they can get back to what they're working on. Now, I know you're thinking, well, I do that to my kids and they rush and go back to whatever they're working on. No, we're talking about adults who are focused on what's highly interesting to them. And if they're good at what they do, even if they do it quick, they're good at it. That's the benefit of hiring somebody who is skilled. That's the benefit of hiring somebody who fits the culture. That's the benefit of following the process. That when you have something that comes up, an emergency project that needs to get done, and you can give it to this person who's working on a future project, they will pause for a moment to work on this immediate need and then get it done, and it'll be done correctly, or at least it'll be done in a way that will advance what you need to get done to the next group who needs to work on it, and they'll go back to working on a future project. When you feed that person with resources, they are going to go hard for you. They're going to go hard for you because not only are you helping them, but there is a partnership between what you envision and what they envision. Going hard for you is like going hard for themselves. It's a selfish thing that's involved in this. You're getting something out of it. They're getting something out of it. You guys have a partnership, an alignment, and an understanding. You are reaping the benefits, my friend. This is why you need to get the real person to interview with you when you're sitting down in a casual environment. You want to know what makes them tick, because what makes them tick may be a project that you didn't even consider for your team, but all of a sudden, you know what? That was the missing piece. That was the innovative project that I just couldn't put my finger on. Or I heard about this project several months ago, but I just I didn't know what they were talking about, but I kind of understood. But now, tell me more about that. I'm telling you, I have been in conversations with people that have told me about projects that they're working on. I brought them on, and they have done wonders for the work that I needed them to do, in addition to laying a foundation for the future. So connect them with resources. Don't be stingy. Don't be cheap. Give them information. Pour into them. Coach them. Provide the support that they need. Defend them. Start to promote their work to your uppers, right? To your CEO or to your VPs, whatever position you have reporting to you. Start to promote their work to your board if you're the CEO. Start to talk about the future. Even though it's nowhere near where it needs to be, start to talk about this innovative project, program you're working on. And you'll start to realize the benefits of this approach because you were the supportive leader. Now, people will share with you that they're working on these things or they want to work on these things and they have this vision for themselves. And in some cases, some people end up leaving to fulfill their passion or to pursue this dream full time. And that will happen. And if it happens, let that person leave with your blessing and your support. Remain in contact with them because they could become a subcontractor. You could possibly be the one to help them get their business off the ground. It's not all lost. It could be a future relationship that you can leverage for the future that would benefit your team. Then there are those folks who feel so supported, so connected to you, so a part of the culture that they won't leave, but they'll stay with you and they'll age with you. Remember, we were talking about selecting people for now and for the future. And because they've been working on the future, because they've been designing and defining the future, they're already the future. And you recognize, man, this works. And they recognize this works. And because you supported them, because you provided resources, you weren't stingy, they realized I wouldn't have been able to get these resources without my leader. They decided to stay. And now you have a long-term team member who is highly invested in your success because you were the one to defend them. You were the one to help their dream come true. You were the one to put resources behind them. You were the one that kept your promises. You were the one that protected them when other people were jealous, when other people were questioning what they were doing. You were the one that made a way out of no way. That job you do as a leader to inspire, to influence, to encourage, to coach, to develop, that is a huge job because you're doing it on behalf of people who may feel like they can't do it themselves or they don't have enough infrastructure or support to do it themselves. You, my friend, are important to this process. And if you have someone that decides to stay with you for the long haul, to innovate with your support, your leadership will strengthen, your legend will grow, people will be beating your door down to be a part of what you are doing. People will try to steal your team members, which is a flattering thing. Kind of frustrating because if they actually leave, you got to start over again and start this process all over again. But it's flattering because you know you've done something right. People will try to get you to take new jobs, do job offers. They will try to recruit you away from what you've done. But man, that legend will grow and it's growing because you've built the right team. Well, we've made it this far, and this is the last little bit of this course, and it's what's next. I do want to just share some closing thoughts with you that will put a button on this conversation. I want to thank you, first off, for just joining this course, getting this far in this course, and I hope that you found what I shared helpful, useful, inspiring. I hope that for some of you it's affirming. I hope that for some of you it's challenging. I hope that ultimately you find what you need in this course to advance your leadership and to advance how you select team members. Now, I do want to just add some closing thoughts here. When you select the right team, performance will improve without a doubt. It's the right people that makes performance improve. Some people believe that if you're a taskmaster, that's how you get improvement in numbers and performance. No. Some people believe that if you beat people up and you're constantly on their back, that's how you improve performance. No, that's a temporary bump. It's not going to last. Some people think you can bribe your team to success. Nope, that's temporary and it doesn't last. What changes performance long term? What makes you successful consistently over a long period of time is the selection of your team. Who's on the team? Do they have the skill? Do they fit the culture and you? Have you followed the process? And do you guys align? That's what makes performance sustained over time. And people will be wondering how. How do you hit your numbers or exceed your numbers quarter after quarter, year after year? What is the magic sauce? What is the secret ingredient? And quite frankly, your leadership matters, but your selection of a team, your development of a team matters just as much, if not more. So that will your performance will improve and the culture will become obvious. We talked about that. People will begin to notice things. There is a sports franchise, the New England Patriots. What's been said about them for years is that they have a consistent winning culture. The San Antonio Spurs is also known for that. And this is within the 2000s. And the reason for that is because of that sustained performance is because of the team that's been built. There are a couple of cornerstone individuals that make this happen, but the consistency of those individuals, whether it's the front office, the coaching staff, or key players over the years, made that culture what it is now. And that mystique, that the legend of those cultures, those rumors about the culture, they emanate and it emanates out from consistency of performance, consistency in winning, consistency in climbing the mountain and winning the championships, etc., and getting off that high and doing it all over again year after year after year. The culture that you portray will emanate and it will become obvious. Now, what's next? Now that you've done all these things, now that you've taken this course and you've gotten this far and you've done all these things, what's next? Well, I want you to start here or consider starting here. Identify people you want to add to your team. Whether you're starting out and building a new team from scratch or you're looking to shuffle some people on your team, identify people you think you want to add on your team. Next, execute the steps I listed above. Whether it's finding out who has the right talent, who's the right fit, going through the process of interviewing them in a casual environment and finding alignment. Execute on those things I listed that we talked about. Review this PowerPoint and learn from the process. Go ahead and execute. Execute everything, learn from the process, tweak this process that I've shared with you to fit you, and then do it again. I'm only sharing with you things that I have learned, things that I have researched, things that I have read about, things I have done myself, and I've what I've delivered to you in this course works for me. I'm not suggesting that it will work for you 100% of the time or if you follow it step by step. With any information you get from me or from anybody else that's sharing any information with you about your leadership, about team development, etc., you should be receiving and digesting that information, but also looking for opportunities to see how it fits with you. And if you got to tweak some things here or there, do what you got to do. It has to feel comfortable. It has to feel natural.
As we take an evaluation of what we just talked about, who has this information helped and who has it worked for? This information has worked and helped nonprofit executive directors and CEOs. This has worked for startup nonprofits, engaged and active board members. This information has helped directors and fundraising, directors of fundraising and grant writing, people who want to do something different for the community, people who want to change things, business owners, etc. And the truth is that we can use this information to build better teams, build better organizations, and make a significant difference. But let me ask you this question. What could you do what could you do more of if you just simply implemented this information? What could you do that would make a difference for your organization if you simply built teams around the culture of your organization, around the purpose and the mission of your organization? What could you do different? Could you serve more kids? Could you help more families? Could you, in fact, improve the outlook of your community? And I believe you could. There is so much I want to share with you, but I don't have the time to share with you, which is why why I want to invite you to join my masterclass, What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants. This masterclass and mastermind group is such a critical benefit to so many people. It is helping a lot of my students navigate the challenges that they're dealing with so that they can raise serious money and build successful organizations. As a member of this masterclass, you get access to monthly live coaching with our group of students where we talk about case studies and examples of how to build your nonprofit organization, how to fundraise, and how to develop your organization to be its very best self. You also get access to my 50 plus library of courses where I talk about the 3 secrets to fundraising in extreme detail. So when you have a question and you want to explore something in detail and it's the midnight hour and you can't get a hold of me, you can simply go to this library of video courses, simply play the video and get the answer you need along with the presentations. You also get the tools, tips, and tricks that I use to help me raise money. All the templates, all the resources I use to raise money, you get access to it. And this is simply valued at $1,947. But because you joined this masterclass today, because you joined me and stay to this very end, I want to invite you to join this masterclass, What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants, for just $42 a month. I know, it's hard to believe, but I tried to make what I do affordable and accessible to as many people as possible. I want to make sure that at affordable rate, you are able to get the coaching and the support and the training you need to build your nonprofit organization. Why? Because your community needs your nonprofit, your stakeholders need your nonprofit, the people that you're serving need your nonprofit, and heck, your nonprofit needs you, and you need to be at your very best self, the very best leader that you can be. With that being said, you will see information pop up on the screen. I want you to join me for my masterclass, What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants. You can register by going to mysixfigureFunding.teachable.com/P/grant writing 101. Again, you want to come to my masterclass link at mysixfigureFunding.teachable.com/P/grant writing 101. You should see the link on the screen. You should see a banner popping up somewhere inviting you to join. I thank you. I thank you for staying with me for this class. I thank you for joining me for this class. It was my pleasure to teach you all. It was my pleasure for me and my team to respond to your questions in the chat. This is what we do. This is what we're about. I need you to go to my masterclass website and register and join us as we teach you how to raise serious money for your nonprofit organizations. Again, join my masterclass and mastermind group, What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants, by going to mysixfigureFunding.teachable.com/P/grant writing 101. This is Dr. William Clark, your instructor. Thank you for joining me for this class. We'll see you in the next class, and I'll see you online within my masterclass, What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants.